I mean, you can very good. All right, now it's position for Cumbres Querétaro. You have 9 minutes to ask questions of Irlandés, Mexico, and we'll have what else we can now.
The United States of America is a nation of immigrants. So, isn't it hypocritical to put up a barrier along the borders bearing as a do not enter sign?
Yes, but the United States government is a government of the people, and the people of the United States want some control over illegal immigration.
But you didn't answer. Is it hypocritical to put the barrier along your neighbors, where neighbors that are part of your country, that they're immigrants now are part of your country? So is it hypocritical?
No, it isn't. A good fence makes great neighbors. Yes, these countries at some point shared from heritage, but in today's world they are two very separate countries with two very separate governments and two very separate lifestyles.
So how can you say that are good neighbors when one of those neighbors is that the United States of America is building a border to separate? Doesn't that tell you anything?
They're not obligated to let you in.
Isn't the border too expensive to be even considered?
The money the United States spends on the border, it's their problem and it's what they want to do, and if that's what they have to do to keep illegal immigrants out, then they have the right to do it.
But are you aware how much is it going to cost and how much is budget will be for the budget to build it?
Yes, it will cost approximately $3 to $7 billion. However, the cost of legalizing all the migrants now in the United States would be of approximately $157 billion.
Okay, so the United States of America is building a border wall which just will cover 700 miles out of 2,000 miles of the border within Mexico and the United States. Would that be enough for stopping immigrants?
We don't believe it will stop, but we do believe it will significantly curb the current immigration influx into America. The 700 miles of fencing that will be built are additional to some fencing that's already there. It's not that there's nothing throughout the whole 2,100 miles. There is plenty of walling already, and there are some very secure areas. This is an additional step to ensure that immigration is further curbed.
But okay, don't you think that the United States, by building this border, will just increase the death of immigrant people for their dreams?
No, I do not think that, because the wall will stop all the deaths that occur in the desert.
Well, thank you.
Because it will stop them from going into the desert, and it will also, all the Minutemen that shoot Mexicans across the desert, well, there won't be Mexicans there to shoot.
Thanks. Will the political party responsible for putting up a border security barrier will forfeit the immigrant Mexican Hispanic voting bloc?
We didn't understand. Could you please repeat your question?
Sure. You are aware that once they were illegal immigrants, now they are legal immigrants, right? So, will the political party responsible for putting up a border security barrier will forfeit that immigrant, Mexican, Hispanic voting bloc? As you put in your presentation, the Republicans, which are the ones that are building this border wall, do you think that the Hispanic, Mexican, people who they live now in the United States, that they have to write the vote for choosing a president, do you think that that political party will be affected?
Not necessarily, because you're generalizing. You're generalizing that all Hispanics are from Mexico, and that's not true. Several Hispanics arrive there legally with visas and stay there and do approve of the Republican Party. Cubans, for example.
Who do you think that will be the border wall? The United States citizens or all the other neighborhoods that they need to get from other countries?
It is logical to think that low-cost laborers will be needed for the construction of the wall. It is, after all, in the desert, and it is, after all, hard labor. However, this just proved that the wall has already been deeply negotiated by both governments, and that to a point it won't damage diplomatic relationships. Mexico, the government, is not stupid enough to let this happen without being some sort of negotiation. They know this is going to happen, and they have already taken measures to ensure that the immigrants currently living in the United States will get some certain benefits out of the construction of the wall, namely the guest worker program.
Not only Mexico is affected with the border, but did you know also that most Latin American countries and the affairs with the United States will also be foreign because they disagree completely with the idea of this wall. So it wouldn't be just looking at Mexico's relationship, but also with all of Latin Americans.
How is that relevant to diplomatic relationships between the U.S. and Mexican governments?
By separating Mexico and the United States by a border wall built by the United States, is it logic to say that Mexico is going to stay just like this and that will not happen any diplomatic relations problem?
You were saying that other Latin American countries have the problems with the border wall. The topic is about Mexico and its relationship with the United States. Latin American countries have nothing to do with this debate.
Thank you. Well, thank you. And now I'm going to ask you about the diplomatic relations between Mexico and the United States. Will the diplomatic relations will be damaged with the building of this wall border?
Absolutely not, because it has been deeply negotiated, and the immigrants who are already in the United States will see a significant benefit out of the construction of the wall, namely the guest worker program.
Could you you were breaking up on that mic the first time. Go ahead, answer again.
Absolutely not. Diplomatic relationships between the United States and Mexico would not be severely affected by the construction of the wall, as it has already been proven that it has been deeply negotiated by both countries.
Isn't it humiliating to Mexico that the neighbors have to build a border to separate them?
As I said before, it is not. The United States can build whatever they want,
no?
and a good fence, as we already said, makes a good neighbor.
Yes or no? Will Mexico be humiliated by the building of this wall?
No.
No.
Oh, so what do you think is going to happen then? It's too late to say that. Well, isn't it a border security fence inherited as racist, anti-Mexican, anti-Hispanic?
Absolutely not. The American public is aware of the problem of immigration in their country. They see illegal immigrants as cheating on their welfare, education, and healthcare systems, which is actually true. They do accept, embrace, and want legal immigration.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Time is up.